Hi art friends! This week I wanted to do something a little different for our art lesson. We're all going to be working with the same theme and challenge, but how you make your art is going to be up to you. Everyone in our school will be watching the same video this week, so it may be just a little longer, but it's packed full of ideas, so hang tight. Our theme is owls. We are, after all, the Oldsmar Owls. How you do your art this week will depend on what materials you have at home. I have a few really simple ideas, so you can do one of them, all of them, or maybe you have your own ideas. You can use the internet to research drawing owls, or you can use one of the attachments I will post along with our assignment. I am excited to see all the different ways you make your owls. Let's talk a little bit about owls. I love owls. In the park by my house, we have a nesting pair of great horned owls and a separate pair of barred owls on the other side of the park. They have babies every year. It's so fun to watch them grow up. They're pretty silly. We know how to find the owl nests in the park because in the evening the crows like to fly around them. They're not good friends. Owls are nocturnal birds. Did you know that there are over 200 species of owls? Most owls hunt insects, small mammals, and even other birds. Some owls hunt fish too. Those horns on the great horned owl, not horns at all. They're actually ear tufts made of feathers. They have nothing to do with owls' hearing. Did you know a group of owls is called a parliament? Owls have large eyes and a flat face, but they're far-sighted, meaning they can't see things close to their eyes clearly. So let's get to our art. The first idea is really simple. It's a toilet paper tube owl. All you need is a cardboard tube and some markers. Optional supplies are extra scrap paper, scissors, and glue. Ironically, I didn't have any cardboard tubes at my house, so I'm going to show you what to do if you don't either. I just cut a rectangle of paper and put glue on in a strip on one side. I rubbed it with my finger because I find when you spread the glue out, it sticks faster. When your tube or cylinder is made, all you have to do to make an owl is bend down the top, sides, to create the ear tufts, and your body will be the cylinder. You can draw the rest with Sharpie, or you can use paper to add wings, a tail, eyes, etc. You can also cover the toilet paper roll in colored paper, or paint it before starting to make your owl a different color. To help you with the details, you can use the attached owl drawing sheets, or you can also do a quick Google search on how to draw an owl, or you can look up toilet paper tube owls to get ideas. I saw a lot of them. Before you photograph your owl to turn it in, take it outside and put it in nature. That will make for a more interesting photo. The second option is to create your own drawing or painting of an owl using the wax resist method. You will need paper, the thicker the better, something to draw with. I started with a pencil and outlined with a Sharpie, and crayons or oil pastels to add details with. You will need some watercolor paint for this project, but don't worry, if you don't have any, I'll give you some tips on how to make your own. If you don't want to paint, you can use whatever materials you want to color with. There are many tutorials on YouTube and images of owl drawings you can look at and draw. Remember to look for simple lines and shapes, and then put them together. Start your owl drawing by looking at some references. I printed this one out and will attach it to the assignment. And sketching with pencil very lightly. Erase all unwanted pencil marks and outline with a Sharpie. Start adding color with your oil pastels or crayons and press hard. Don't color anything in if you plan on painting, because if it's colored in, the paint will not stick to the paper. I have paint, and I know quite a few of you do as well, so you can paint right over your owl for the next step. If you don't have paint, you can actually make your own. If you draw with washable markers and paint over them with water, they will turn into a very simple watercolor. I practiced a little bit on this paper. I know most of you probably don't have thick watercolor paper at home, so remember, if you add too much water, your paper will get soft and fall apart. It might change color a little, like mine did, but when it dries, it will dry white. I also looked up DIY paint recipes on the internet and found some really easy ones. You can create paint by using food coloring and water. You can add drops of different colors to create new colors as well. You can also create paint by soaking Skittles, yes Skittles, in a little bit of water using Kool-Aid or even Jell-O. I also found that you can color in a plastic container or on a plate and add a few drops of water with your paintbrush to make a really nice paint. Remember, when using watercolors, you don't need to use that much water. If you don't have a brush, you can try to use a Q-tip or research DIY paintbrushes on the internet. In my opinion, part of the fun of distance art is having to be really creative with our supplies. Here's a very sped up clip of me painting my owl. See how the watercolors don't cover up the oil pastel and crayon? That's called a wax resist. The oil pastels or crayons are pushing away the color of the paint and almost create a glowing effect. For the background, I'm going to use markers and turn those into watercolors by just using water right on top of them. The third option for making your owl is making this really neat owl silhouette drawing. You will need a paper, Sharpies, and watercolors for this one. Silhouettes are the outlines of objects which are all in shadow because the light is hitting behind them. When light hits the back of an object and not the front, we can't see the details of the object, only the outline of the shape. I simply drew a tree going up the side of my paper and some simple Y branches. Remember, tree branches get smaller towards the top of the tree. Now that my tree is drawn and filled in, I can add a silhouette of an owl by using an oval shape. I'm going to leave the eyes white to add a little interest to the owl. Then I'll go in and paint a night sky. I'm going to paint rings to symbolize the moon in the sky, but you could paint however you want. If you don't have paint, use some of those cool tricks I mentioned earlier. The fourth Owl Week option is to create a nature drawing of an owl. I will go outside for this one. You can collect all sorts of sticks, stones, leaves, plants, and put them together to make an owl. You could even use found objects from around your house. Here are some examples. If you have foil, a bottle of glue, a glue stick, and some patience, you could also draw an owl on cardboard or a food box, then outline it with thick glue. Because you will be outlining with glue, draw big and don't be too detailed or your glue might blob together. After the glue is dried, probably the next day, you can cover it with a glue stick. Then flip it over onto the foil. Fold the foil around the back, tape it, and use a cloth to rub your design, pressing hard and going slow. Remember though, foil is fragile, so if you press too hard or go too fast, it may rip. I experimented with coloring my owl with colored Sharpies. If you have them, they color right on top of the foil. Washable markers, not so much. I know you can rub shoe polish or spray paint into these to make them look aged, but I didn't have shoe polish, and I didn't want to use spray paint. Make sure if mom or dad does have spray paint, you let them do it for you. I don't want any sick or hurt artists. Quick tip, if you're using colored Sharpies or even a black Sharpie and you mess up, you can put a squirt of hand sanitizer right on it and rub it off with a paper towel. Here are some more examples of this project. The last option, of course, is to make your owl how you want. Maybe you could research salt dough recipes online and make an owl sculpture, or maybe you have clay. You can use materials that you have to find ideas to find a creative solution to this challenge. Maybe you could do scratch art owl. Maybe you have a canvas at home that you've been dying to paint on. You could even use your sidewalk chalk to make a giant owl. Or maybe you want to use an iPad app to create an owl. Here's your chance to be creative. Be creative with your supplies and remember to show craftsmanship. I should be able to tell that you spent some time thinking about your art project and that you didn't just throw it together. I'm giving you very simple options using very few supplies, so I shouldn't see any owls that are only pencil drawings on notebook paper, unless of course they are super detailed. If you're drawing, use the whole paper and draw big. Add a background. Try to be unique with your work too. It doesn't have to look just like mine. I hope I helped get your creative juices going for our art challenge this week. I can't wait to see all the neat ideas you come up with. Remember to upload your work to Artsonia in the gallery labeled Owl Week or you can upload to Teams and I will put it on Artsonia for you. Check your grades in Focus. I update them once a week. This will allow you to make sure you aren't missing any assignments. Speaking of missing, I miss you all terribly. I love seeing you upload pictures of you holding your artwork, and I've even gotten some really nice videos of you. Keep 'em coming. I miss you all, and I hope you enjoy making art with me while we're apart. Bye!